they're stuck inside my head. Remembering you and I analyze all those things you said. You told me you love me, you kissed and you hugged me, then you smiled and look in my eyes and tell me that you'll always be right there.
Good evening, good people. It is another super sexy, sensual Friday, and you are here with your crazy rich aunties right here on PGC After Dark, brought to you by PGC Media. We are in for a hell of a good time tonight, and I hope y'all are ready. We are not just discussing our normal stuff tonight. We taking it a little further. Y'all know we always kind of deep dive anyway. But tonight we got a special guest. And this special guest is none other than Miss Deanna Washington. Now, let me tell y'all something. Hold on. Let me let y'all see us. Because we on here fine. Hey, Auntie Regina. Hey, boo. You muted, honey bun.
All
There
right,
we
all
go.
right. Can you hear me now? Can you
There
hear
we
me?
go. There we go. Yep, I can hear
All right,
you.
all right. How you doing, boo?
I'm good, mamas. What's going on? How was your day today?
Girl, long. Ready to go home?
Long
Fridays is
and was
always
ready to get
long.
home. I feel
Yes,
you.
yes. How was your day?
My day has been good. It's been a really good day. Really
That's
good
what's
day.
that's
Really
what's
good
up.
day. Chill day. I did a lot of work. So just a whole lot of getting stuff done and taken care of. So I'm ready to I'm ready for some more stuff. Some
All right.
more things to get moving and grooving with the brand and with the show and all of that kind of good stuff. But anywho, our guest this evening is none other than Miss Deanna Washington. And let me tell y'all a little bit about Deanna. She is known as the Kept Wife Strategist. Okay. She is the founder of Love Courage, and Love Courage is a relational wealth authority and renowned mentor for successful women who desire love that matches their lifestyle. Okay. Through her signature frameworks, Self, the Kept Worthy Blueprint, and the Feminine Contribution Model, she teaches women how to evolve from self sufficient to securely supported. I know that's right. Her boutique style programs and immersive experiences help women shift from a life of business wins and boardroom achievements to wedding rings and being well kept. Inside the Kepti Academy, women learn the foundations of love alignment, while the Kepti community offers premium coaching and direct mentorship with Deanna herself. Her work defines what it means to be powerful and partnered, proving that femininity, faith, and fulfillment can thrive alongside ambition. Listen, okay?
Okay.
Let me tell y'all something. We don't talk about being a kept woman enough no more. We don't talk about it enough no more. Okay? So we gonna, without further ado, we gonna bring on our guest. Hey, honey.
Hello, ladies.
How are you? Come on with
Doing
the tea.
fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. How are you, love?
Oh my goodness. I'm doing amazing. I'm like relaxed.
Good.
This is usually my hour. I'm like winding down. I said, "Oh,
Yes.
y'all
So
are
you
special."
ready? You ready? You ready for a little conversation, a little wind down?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. So we ready. We ready for all the information. We ready to have the conversation and do a deep dive tonight because, like I just got through saying, a lot of women, we don't talk about being kept women anymore.
Hmm.
I think since Boosie made the song Independent, it's just been running up. Since
Yeah.
Beyonce now talked about being independent, it's been a running up thing. And so I think we kind of want to rewind a
Hmm.
little bit and go back. But tell us first and foremost how you came
Yeah.
up with the idea of um, the kept wife soci- the kept wife strategist as your title. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Well, I was a relationship coach, right? And I, like many coaches, I went through a lot of different like names to try to describe what I was doing. I mean, at one point, I was a relationship reality coach, I was a love
Okay.
guide, I was all the things until a friend of mine who happens to be like a coach, kind of like branding genius. She's like, Deanna, like you are always talking about being a kept wife, like, and you're more than a coach. Like, you be giving these women strategy. Like, you need to lean into that. So I'm like, okay, kept wife strategist. Oh, okay. And I mean, it clearly was the right thing because no matter what room I'm in, as soon as I say that, women are like, oh, okay. It get a little more attention than relationship coach.
hmm Yeah, because that make you lean in.
Yeah,
Tell me more. What do you
absolutely. I mean,
mean?
you said it. Like, we don't talk about being kept enough. So that was one of the things that I was observing in the space. There were, plenty of other relationship coaches that were great, had huge followings. I would agree with some of
Hmm
the stuff they were saying. But when it came down to like women being kept, I didn't see too much representation
hmm
in the space that I could jive with. Like, it was extreme. It was either the woman that didn't have a voice. You can't have an opinion, and your husband is your everything, and it was that extreme, or it was just you weren't working at all, you couldn't have an identity, like any of those things.
mm
And I'm like, I don't fit into that. Right? In my past life, I was a rapper, so I have edge, I have opinions,
mm
I have a voice. And while I don't work to pay any bills, I still have goals. I have
Right.
dreams, things I want
Right.
to accomplish. And I just want to show women that you can redefine kept. It doesn't have to be what you've seen. But let's talk about the basics where you don't have to pay no bills. We can all agree on that part.
Listen, listen, that is basic, but listen. Um, and I think one of the things that we've kind of, when we talk about being kept and we've strayed away from it so much is because we have to prove so much, or we feel like we have to prove so much in today's world. We got to prove that we can handle everything. We got to prove that I don't need a man. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never in my life said that.
Never,
I've never in
never.
my life been one of them kind of girls. Listen, I might say I don't want you, but I ain't never said I don't need you
Yeah.
because that's a different thing.
Yeah, I encourage women, like, listen, we're out here, we're smart, we're like degreed, we're owning businesses, we're doing all the things. And I'm not saying like we should be shy about our accomplishments, right? They're great things and we should be proud of them. However, I don't want us to lose our softness and lose
Hmm
sight of the fact that just because you are self-sufficient, right? You can take care of yourself. You can do these things for yourself. Doesn't mean you should go over to hyper independence where you don't need anyone and you don't want to take the help and you don't want to allow a man to come into your life and let what you earn and what you do be the icing. Like, we can still have that too.
hmm You said so much, and I'm over here like all of that
Yeah. I mean,
because from
I'm trying to, well, not trying to, I am in the space, like I'm representing that and I'm being a force
yes.
about it. Like, I'm not um I think it's really important to present that you can be soft, you can be feminine, you can still lean into your lady likeness, but that doesn't mean you're a doormat.
True.
That doesn't mean
Yes.
you don't have standards. That doesn't mean, you don't uphold certain things about yourself and you don't require things of a partner. Like there's a
Yes.
balance that we can strike. And far too many times I'm seeing again the extremes, right? Women are completely hard. Nope, I've been doing it all this time. Can't no man
Yep.
tell or there's the other extreme where it's like, come on, Danielle doormat. Like, we don't want that. So I'm like, listen, ladies, you can find your own balance, right? Which is authentically you. Like, I happen to be in a shade of pink tonight, but I'm not saying it's a requirement. You don't have to always be in pink. You don't have to always be in a dress. You don't have to have a certain aesthetic. I mean, even how I look is almost like a, FU to what people would say a kept wife should be. I'm not skinny. I don't have straight hair. I don't subscribe to European beauty standards. I'm
Hmm.
happy about that. I'm unapologetic about it. So I'm like challenging the norms about what's kept and
Yes,
encouraging other women to as well.
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I used to pride myself on when I was younger
Mm-hmm.
was, people will always talk about how they came up and how they were in their relationships when they were younger. And I was like, that was never my like that was never my understanding in my previous relationship. And so when I got back out here and got to dating, I was like, what is this? What are you guys doing? Is this how y'all acting? Because all of my 20s I spent in a serious relationship. All of my 20s. So by the
Mm-hmm.
time my 30s rolled around and I got out here and got to dating again, I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Mm.
Y'all want to be taken care of? What is this? Because from the first date, like in my 20s, he courted me. We had an actual courting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got into a relationship. And then also, even in that relationship, people were so surprised that sex wasn't at the forefront of our relationship, even
That's
though we were in our early 20s. And so, even that part is something that a lot of people don't do now. Sex
right. Yeah.
is right at first date.
Yeah.
It's got to be up front. It's got to be soon. We have to talk about it at at the ready. And
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't my experience. But also when
Mm-hmm.
it came down to us living together and being together and all of those kind of things, I didn't have to contribute a thing, but I chose to because I wanted to, because I was young and I was like, this don't feel right. It
Right.
don't feel right. But also this feel right. But I also made sure the fact that this man was taking care of everything, that I also took care of everything. You
Yeah.
took care of the house, I made it a home. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so in my
Yeah.
20s, that was my experience. That was my understanding. That was what I did. And so once I hit 30 years old, and I'm like, y'all don't court women no more. Y'all don't y'all don't do all of this and y'all don't do that. So it was literally a culture shock to me
Mm-hmm.
having to come back out to the dating scene after being single for 9 years. I mean, not being in a relationship for 9 years, and then
Yeah.
coming back to the dating scene. And I'm like, and people were like, well, why y'all didn't get married? Because we weren't in a hurry to get married. We
Right.
were in
Mm-hmm.
our 20s. We were enjoying life. I was trying to make sure I knew who I was. He was still trying to make sure he knew who he was. We were okay with where we are. We were still learning ourselves and all of that. And so it really became our understanding. And so we didn't let other people pressure us into marriage, into children, or any of that. But once I got
Yeah.
back out here, I was like, ain't nobody talking about being kept no more except the men.
I mean, you raised a lot of good points too. Like, how we date in our 30s, 40s, 50s is way different than in your 20s, right? It's pretty acceptable to take a few years in your 20s because, like you said, you're figuring yourself out. You want to learn certain things. In your 30s and your 40s, you don't know yourself. You don't know what you require in a relationship. You don't know what it looks like for a man to show up intentionally. Like, we don't need to
Listen,
waste time. And there's too many examples out there of, women and men saying it doesn't take long.
it
When you
doesn't
know what
take
you
long.
want, when you are
Yep,
intentional, when you're observing,
yep.
it doesn't take long at all.
It does not take long. It does not take long at all. It doesn't take a lot of work or conversation. There was a guy on Threads, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, he said he knew on his first date,
Mm-hmm.
and he told her on the first date,
Yeah.
"You are going to be my wife." And I know that may be a shock because this is our first date, but take some time and think about it. I want you to pray on it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
let me know. I said, my God, today. That's what I'm
Listen,
talking about. If you know, you know.
I believe I might have been on that same thread, sire.
Uh-huh.
Go sit down, honey. Sorry. This
That's
is the
okay.
time. Usually, my kids, they're usually like, this is their time. So they're like, what are you doing, mom? Over there.
It's
But
all good. Listen,
my
we
husband,
understand real life over here, okay? We understand real life over here. Um, but he definitely was
I
talking
know.
about how he enjoyed the fact that he knew who his wife was on their very first date after talking, after communicating with her prior to the date. He knew on that first date, he knew. And he told her on the date that that was going to be,
Yeah.
that she was going to
I
be
mean,
his wife.
I believe it. And I feel like there's way more stories out there like that. Because my husband, we were living in two completely different cities. We only had two
Mm,
in-person dates and he proposed.
yes.
But that is when you know what you want, you know who you are, you know what
Hmm.
aligns with you, and you all spend your time like intentionally having the deeper conversations and you're not having sex, right?
Yes.
Like we'll talk about that again. Sex clouds your judgment, it rushes the intimacy before you've actually built it, right?
Yep.
And that's how we get caught up with people that we don't even really align with, but maybe physically there was a connection there. You get your emotions get all tied up in that, right? Like
Man.
I tell women all the time, like the if you really want to fast track something, take that off the table.
Yep.
For
Take it off the
one,
table.
he's gonna have to get creative about how he courts you. He's gonna have to get
Yep.
creative about how the intimacy is built. He's gonna really have to have some conversation, like for you all to actually interact and it means something. Trust
Hmm.
me, like, and you'll be able to weed out men that don't have any intentions for a future as well.
Yep.
Right. Because once that sex comes off the table, that right there tells you right then and
Yes,
there who's going to be in it for the long haul and
that's
who's just
right.
out for the sex.
Oh, that's my honey right there. That's my husband.
Oh, hey. I saw that last name. I said, I wonder. I wonder. Well, hey there, sir. We're gonna have you come on here too, because we need to talk. Hey, honey bun. So the understanding of communicating your standards, your desires, and what you require. Can
Mm-hmm.
you dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So I I encourage women to do more of the deeper work within
Hmm.
themselves because I think what ends up happening is they're on these dates and they have these standards, but they don't fully believe them or they don't fully feel like this is what I deserve, this is what I should require. Sometimes it's just what they've heard, sometimes it's what they want to believe, but they're not ready. I spend a lot of time with my Kepties, like digging in deep. Okay, where were you hurt? What are you afraid of? Like, what do you want that you're scared to say? So we can get it out. So when you're dating, you have built up your confidence to really uphold it. And I also teach that, like, your boundaries and your standards, they're not a means to control men. It's a means to how you govern yourself. So
Yourself,
it's
yeah.
like you're not giving ultimatums, you're not trying to make them do anything. You just have your own standard. You're able to articulate it clearly and confidently. And the man that aligns with that will say, sure, that's it. No problem. The men who don't align are going to try to talk you out of it. They're going to
Yeah.
try to tell you how that doesn't make sense, how that's too much, how no man will do that.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of trying to convince those men and give them more time, that should be the indicator, like, oh, okay, he's not it.
He ain't it, sis.
He ain't it. Yeah.
And I think that's the part where a lot of us get caught up is the trying to convince,
Yeah.
trying to persuade or get someone to understand our perspective, our point of view, all of
Mm-hmm.
those kind of things. And so it becomes now almost as though you're begging for
Yeah.
them to see you when that's not the case. I don't care if you see me at this point. You
Mm-hmm.
could you can see the the outline, the chalk outline of where I used to be because I'm not going to stick around. And
Mm-hmm.
I think so many of us are afraid to walk away. We are
Yeah.
afraid to let go. We are afraid to just say no. And some of us are in the space of our lives where we're just learning what that looks like to say no, to walk away, to not further engage in things that don't serve you.
Yeah. And I
But you
believe a
Go
lot
ahead.
of women also might have certain fears based
Yeah.
on what they're hearing, right?
Hmm.
So I teach my ladies, like, we have a Kepti lens. It's not common. I call those out there commoners. Like, they do what's common. They're saying the same things. They're complaining. They're negative. They don't believe anything. That's their rhetoric. But the thing is,
Hmm.
you're surrounded by that. You're surrounded by people saying, oh, you're too old. You're too fat. You have kids. You, all these things that start to get in our head that will create these thoughts of, well, maybe I can't have that, or maybe it's not possible, right? All these doubts that you have to work through in order to be confident. No, I do
Yeah.
deserve this. No, I'm not going to settle for less than what I said. So
Yeah.
it's so important, like, not to be listening to commoners, not to be following commoner coaches, right? Like, you don't want to
right.
subscribe to that. Subscribe to, like, this is what I was doing when I was building up my confidence. I was looking at women that had what I wanted. Now, obviously, we're all individuals and nobody has exactly what you want, but they have some of it, right? You might see
Hmm.
the woman who's in a little bit more in shape than you, and you're looking at her and you're getting motivated by that. You see the woman whose husband is keeping her, treating her well, pampering her, all the things, and you're like, okay. So I watched those women, and I, instead of being jealous, I would celebrate it and I would say, okay, God, I see what you've done for other people. That means
Right.
it's possible for me,
Me.
right?
Yeah.
Without that sin, it's possible. If you see it out there, any semblance of it, that's evidence that it does exist and you can have it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favorite things to say is Dear Sky Daddy, okay? Because my father gonna give me everything that I desire and everything that my heart desires as well. So let's see. And make
Come on.
sure that it aligns. I love that certain words have become buzzwords
Yeah.
because it makes you take a look at certain aspects of that word. And we were always talking about compatibility and things of that nature. But the
Mhm.
word alignment for me over the last couple of years has been like, hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those
And so
buzzwords that's
it
getting
is.
overused, and
It
yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
getting overused, but for me, it pulled me in so deeply.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, let me look into it. Let me understand it more. Let me see where this fits in the person that I'm becoming. Because it just, the meaning of alignment.
yeah.
People used to say it all the time. And, I used to be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And not really think twice about it. Be like, oh, okay, you need to be in alignment with them. Oh, okay. And then other times when people say anything about alignment, I'm thinking about tires. Okay, I got to get a wheel aligned. Those. Anytime people used to say alignment, I used to think about wheels or anything of that nature, and not necessarily when
See,
it
that's
came
that.
to
That's that
relationships.
independent side that was coming out.
What do you mean I got to get a wheel alignment? Hold on, And so over the last, I'm going to say about 3 years, 3 or 4 years, when I took the time to look into alignment, learn about alignment, and understand, but also trying to figure out how to put myself in the position to be in alignment with the people that I'm supposed to be connected to or moving forward in this life with, I had to figure out, what does that look like for me? What is it
Mhm.
that I want? What qualities, what standards, all of those kind of things, because I've been solo dolo for quite some time. I've
Mm,
dated, but it didn't work out and it wasn't really what I wanted. But being a woman who is a lover girl, who is full of love to give, and you're dating, and it's like, y'all out here traumatized, so you have to keep going back inward, have to keep
yeah.
talking to yourself, have to keep having the conversations about what you want, what you deserve. And don't let that shake you because you haven't met it yet or haven't stumbled up on that
And
person.
I mean, might I add, I am known for having kind of hot takes and saying the things that may be not too popular.
That's
And
okay. Say it.
when
We love to hear it.
when we're talking about going inward, I think what is missed a lot of the time is if you're attracting certain things, certain people, the same
Mhm.
types, at what point are you going to ask the question, like, what in me is attracting this? Like,
That was the question.
you know, like what, and not from like a conceited place, but seriously, like, what made you think you could talk to me? Something is wrong, right? If you are attracting men that you're like, this is low level, this is not it.
Low
There's
level, low effort.
something in you that is connected to that. Now, it's
Yeah.
probably subconscious or different things like that, but it needs to be addressed, or
Hmm.
you're gonna keep getting more of that. I'm not shy about telling people that I changed the woman that I was to have the life that I have now. I'm not the
Yeah.
same. And I make sure to leave the old photos, the old posts, the old everything. So people can see how far I've come, what I changed, how I talk, how I present myself, how I dress, the places that I am, the things I entertain, the things I respond to, right? I put myself in a position that only a certain caliber of man would talk to me. And that's another thing that women have to deal with, because oftentimes my kepties will come in and they'll say, men used to talk to me all the time. It used to be all this. And I'm like, yeah, but it wasn't quality. Who cares if it was 50
Hmm.
men? don't you rather have 5 that are actually quality,
Yeah.
right? Versus 50 where you're like 45 of them, please. Who wants to sift through all that? You know what I mean? You don't want to sift
Nobody.
through that.
Nobody wants to sift through that. Like, and that's absolutely true. Nobody wants to sift through all of that. And that's one of the things. Once I started pouring my energy into me,
Mm-hmm.
asking the tough questions, doing the tough work, the way my phone got so dry, I was
Right.
like,
Because you're not entertaining everything, right?
okay.
And I mean, if you want to be married, right? Because I deal with women who want to be married. So
Hmm.
we're not playing around. I'm not teaching you how to draw in a crowd. You
Yeah.
don't need a crowd. What you need to do is be refined to the point that you are a wife and your husband comes along and makes you his wife. Like
Yes.
that's the point. And you have to see it like what man wants a woman that's accessible to everybody.
Everybody.
They may want other people to look at you and value how you look and carry yourself, but they want it to be clear. Oh,
Yeah.
every man can't talk to her. She's selective, right? She carries herself a certain way. And sometimes, ladies, we're not doing that. We're putting ourselves out there in ways that don't represent wife. And then when
Hmm.
we get certain treatment or, we're approached certain ways or it's certain, low level men, we're upset and we're complaining about it. And it's like, yeah, I know it's frustrating. Who wants that, right? It is what it is. But I also teach women like don't spend your time on what you don't want. We don't waste our time talking about the men who aren't keepers.
Yeah.
Why? We don't want them. So we focus on the quality men. We focus on what aligns with that.
Yeah. And we have to. We absolutely have to adjust to the shift.
Yeah.
You have to adjust to the shift in the person that you are, the person you're becoming, the things that you want in this new life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we hate to admit that space is often a struggle sometimes. That
Mm-hmm.
space from who you are to who you want to be or who you're becoming is a
Yeah.
struggle because you
Yeah.
have to let go of the past. You have to change your mindset. You have to change how you show up and how you navigate those spaces. And so many of us are afraid to say it was hard because it's
Mm-hmm.
not an easy thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it was a comfortable thing
Yeah.
to navigate into that different kind of space. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, comfort is going to keep you getting what you've been getting.
Hmm.
So comfort is not what we aspire to, right?
No.
Any type of growth, you know,
Gotta be
is is difficult, right?
Yeah.
It requires energy, it requires effort, it requires your attention. I just encourage women that it starts with a decision, honestly. Like you
Yes.
have to wholeheartedly decide, okay, this is where I am in life. I'm proud of some things, not so much of others. I'm looking forward. And when I look at the future I want, I'm going to start aligning myself with that future.
Yeah.
And you can make it fun. Again, I didn't know how to be this woman until I was this woman, but I had the vision. So what I did was I looked at other women for inspiration. Okay, let me look at women who are kept. What do their husbands do for work? How are their husbands treating them? How are these women dressing? How are they talking? What do they do with their time? What books are they reading? Right? It was like I studied it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I wasn't doing any of those things, and this is where I am. I don't want to be here. I want to be there. So I'm going to start doing the things that'll get me there. And it's just one foot in front of the other. Once I made the decision, this is the life I'm going to have. I'm going to be able to stay at home with my kids so I can raise them, so they can have a great childhood. We can make memories. If I have a job or a business, it's going to be because I want to, not because I have to pay any bills. My husband's going to happily do that. He wants me to do this. I said these things, and then I got to preparing for it and becoming the woman that had that life. And then I looked up, and that's what it was. So it literally is just that process. You got to decide it. Don't let anyone talk you out of it. You know, when I made the list for my husband, I share this story often. I shared it with a few people, and when I tell you, every single one of them said, you'll never get all of that in one man. Never. Like, it's gonna take you 5 men to get that. I was so decided that even the people, and I mean, these are people that loved me. So it wasn't like they weren't hating. They were trying to, by all accounts, girl, be realistic. Look at the stats. You know, all the things. And I was just like, well, I don't care. There's women out here living it. Half of them don't even look as good as me. We're like, I don't care. Like,
Period.
So, man, if they can have it, I can too. And
Absolutely.
what do you know? Here he comes, showing up a couple months later with everything on my list, no problem.
Period. So, what was the hardest mindset shift you had to make to become the woman that you are now?
It was being self-governed, right? I wasn't relying on a man or a relationship to complete me or make me happy.
Mm,
I focused on, how can I feel good about myself? How can I develop my own self-esteem that whether this happens or not, I know I'm worthy of it. I know it's possible. Like, and I can exist in this unknown while having belief. And how can I just make sure that every day I just put one foot in front of the other, becoming her while believing for it?
yeah.
That probably was, the most difficult, when your life doesn't look like what you want it to look like. I didn't have, there was nothing around me that said this was going to be my life.
Hmm.
Nothing. All I had was my faith and my decision, and seeing that it was possible for other people. So why not me?
Yeah. Love
Now,
that. I love that.
I have a question. So, what if you want a husband, but you're not ready to date? But it's like you know exactly what you want. You desire the partnership. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want the chaos. You want the commitment, but you're not available for the auditioning of people. And then, I'm ready for the outcome, just not the process of it currently existing.
Uh-huh.
It's like, because I'm at that stage. And
you and every woman I meet, y'all want the end result. You
but
like, girl, just get me to the end result.
it's just, I mean, I know it's a process, but it's just like the dating scene is just like, ugh. And it's
Well,
just like,
I'm okay. So, permission to coach you.
go
Do I
ahead.
have permission?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first, we're going to start with what you're declaring, right? If you're declaring, oh, the dating scene is this, oh, I don't want the process. You're inviting that energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you're putting your energy into what you don't want. So the first thing we have to do is change that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's difficult at first because your eyes have seen it, right? You know
Right.
what's true out
Hmm.
there, but you have to decide, you know what? I know I've seen this, But I also know that there's women out here being loved correctly. There's women out here being proposed to after a few dates. There's women not having to have a hard time.
Right.
So you know what? I'm going to focus my energy and my belief on what I want to be true. I want to enjoy dating. I want this to be a seamless, easy process. I want my husband to come along and recognize me quickly. And
Amen
you
to
just
that.
keep talking that to yourself until you're smiling when you say it and
So
your
keep the
confidence is building.
positivity in the air.
Yeah.
It's that, take the positive and put it out there, and take that negative and just like, psh.
Yeah. And when you see the negative, like this is also important because you're going to see it. There's
Mhm.
more negative being shown, just
Right.
the news, social media, all the things. You have to get to the point that when you see that, you'll say, no, not for me. Maybe for her, not for me.
Right.
That's not going to be my story. I only want ease. I only want an enjoyable process of dating.
Right. Right.
Right? So
Mm.
you keep reiterating that to yourself until that's your default. Your default will be that, and that's what you'll attract to yourself.
Okay. Okay. That sounds. That makes a lot of sense. That
So
makes a lot.
try it
That's
out.
good.
Try it out for a week and then tell me if you're feeling any different about it.
Okay. That makes a
Mhm.
lot of sense. I can do that.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good. Because we also we get so used to saying what we don't want that that's what we end up experiencing.
that's right.
Even when we're saying like that's not what I don't want that. I don't want that. But that's also kind of like the law of attraction too,
Yeah,
right? Is
you
that we keep saying what we don't want, we keep talking about what we don't want to experience or any of that, and then that's what we end up experiencing anyway.
yeah.
So,
Let me
yeah,
give you a cheat code that I give my Kepties, right?
okay.
First of all, I recommend that everybody read the four agreements. If you read the four agreements, one of them is be impeccable with your word.
With your word, yes, ma'am. That's my favorite. I love the four
Read
agreements.
read that section again and then commit to only saying things that you can end with and that's just how I want it.
Okay.
So, would you say, "Oh, the dating pool is full of pee out there and that's just how I want it."
Oh no.
No, you wouldn't say that. So
Yeah.
only say things that you can end with, and that's just how I want it.
Okay.
Because that's what you're gonna get, whatever you saying.
Right. That's true. Because you put it into the atmosphere. What you put
Yes.
out there, what you
Yep.
get. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, that's good. That's a good cheat code. But
That's a
Hmm.
also,
very
I highly, highly recommend The Four Agreements.
It's one of my
That is one
favorite.
of my favorite books.
Yep.
But also, if you read The Four Agreements, do yourself two more favors. Read The Fifth Agreement
Hmm.
and then read The Mastery of Love.
Love. Yep.
Mind blown,
Yes.
okay?
Yep.
Read The Fifth Agreement because the Fifth Agreement, although the Four Agreement breaks down the Four Agreements, the Fifth Agreement breaks them down even further to the point where it's almost kindergarten
Hmm.
level of understanding. And the mastery of love is so beautiful. I don't think I have actually finished the book because I keep going back and starting and reading and dissecting and then going back because I'll get so far into the book and understand some stuff. And then I'll be like, wait, and then let me go back. So I don't think I've ever actually finished the book because I keep reading throughout the whole book.
Yeah.
Let me just say I've never closed it and been done with it. I keep
Mm,
reading the book because it
yeah.
is that good. So go do yourself a favor. Go get those three books. If you don't listen to anything else I say about anything else, go get those three books. Okay? They are godsends
Hmm.
because like she said, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal.
Hmm.
That's my other favorite one. But that's also the one that I'm working on, really. That's the one I'm working on the most.
Yeah.
Um, but being impeccable with your word is something that we all can be better about simply because a lot of us say a lot of things that we don't want to apply to our lives on a regular basis. And so
Mm-hmm.
putting the words or the verbiage out there or saying the things makes them real.
Yeah.
Just like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people always say, oh, I'm broke. And if it ain't one thing, it's another. Baby, that's two things you'll never hear me say.
Yeah. I never did that. I'll be like, I'm in between blessings right now. Or
Listen, I'm in between blessings.
you know what
My
I
next
mean?
blessing is on the
Yeah.
way.
I always have more than enough. I'm God's hands and feet on the earth. Like,
Listen,
I'm the lender, not the borrower. Like,
you
come
got to
on.
say it all. You got to say it all so that
Yeah.
you will understand exactly what's
Mm-hmm.
coming your way. Absolutely. And even when you get down in spirit, don't let it come out of your mouth.
That's right.
Because that's the other thing. We get down in spirit, and then next thing you know, we letting everything but the right thing fly out of our mouths. So that's the other part that I encourage you all. Please be mindful of the words that come out of your mouth. Um, but ma'am, you got some books.
I do.
Hmm.
I do.
You do. So tell
Um,
us about Break Up Now.
yes, ma'am. So, Break Up Now. This book was birthed while I was in my first marriage.
Okay.
And I tell the story in the book where we had just gotten to, we were really close to like our first anniversary. And I
Mm.
already knew like this was not a good decision. Right.
Mm.
And my parents were married for 26 years, I think, and then they got a divorce. So we were adults, like what is going on? And I remember calling my mom and I'm like, "Mom, when did you know that, it wasn't going to work?" And she told me within the first year.
Mm.
I said, "Oh, nah."
I got to go.
This oh no. Oh no. So you mean to
No,
tell
ma'am.
me you knew? I thought this, maybe y'all just got sick of each other after the year. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was thrown. Like, are you kidding me? And then I started doing research, and more I would see like women knew. They knew early on, even right
Mm.
before they got married, within the first year, and a lot of them just stayed, hoping it would get better, staying for the children, all the things. So I was like, "Oh no." And I I typed a status on Facebook like, "If you want to break up, you need to break up now." Like, don't wait. And then I said, "This is going to be my best-selling book." And 5 years later, when I'm out of the marriage, I'm remarried, completely happy. Like, I don't think you're ever completely healed, but healing, thoroughly
Right.
healing,
Because it's a journey.
right?
It's a
Not
journey. Uh-huh.
impacted every day by what I've been through. And I said, "No, I need to put this message out there because I know there are other women that they have religious guilt. People are telling them God
Yes.
hates divorce. Oh, it's going to separate you from God. All of those things. Oh, your kids, it's better for your kids if you stay together.
No, it's
All
not.
of these half truths, without any background, without them expanding on it fully, like just making these
Hmm.
blanket statements. And women are staying, men too, right? Because I wrote it with women in mind, but the men be reaching out to me like, "Listen, yep, I can relate." So Break Up Now literally is, it's a guide to walk you through whether or not you need to break up, like helping you distinguish, is this something that you can work through? or is this like a complete incompatibility that's not going to change?
Mhm.
And then I give you like, well, how do you release the shame of it? And how do you move on peacefully, like putting yourself back together again after this breaking? If you've
Yeah,
ever been through divorce, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It is literally like going through a death, but the person's still walking around. It's the craziest thing to have to live through, and we need to have more conversations about that.
we do. We absolutely do
Yeah.
because we don't have enough conversations about the hard parts of things. Like we
Mhm.
make, like you said, a bunch of blanket statements, but also we do not have those conversations that are necessary. I put up the wrong picture, but this is the right one. Here's the book,
Man,
Break Up Now, so you
it's
guys can check it
horrible.
out. So you guys can go check it out.
Yes,
Bomb picture, by the way.
thank
But
you
make
so
sure y'all go check out
much.
Break Up Now. It's available on Audible. Ooh, I'm a listen because I'm an Audible girly.
Ooh,
It's
And it's
available on Audible.
on Audible, it's
Okay.
only like 2 hours.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I can get
I
that done in the
narrate
afternoon.
as well, so it's me narrating it.
Okay.
Yes, come on, narration.
Hmm.
It's available on Audible, Amazon, and Lulu. If y'all haven't ever checked out Lulu, it is available there. It's a great platform, so make sure y'all check out her book. And I'll make sure to put the link up as we get
Yeah,
towards the end of the show, just so you guys can check it out. But if you
yeah,
are tuned in, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And we are here, the Crazy Rich Aunties, on PGC After Dark with our special guest, none other than Miss Deanna Washington. And if you're
yeah.
new here, I'm your girl, Leo Rochelle. And we got Auntie Gina Marie in the building with us. So we have plenty of other questions and conversations because,
And I'm open, right? So if the viewers have questions, I'm willing to.
yes,
Well,
make sure y'all get y'all questions in. Fellas, you too.
yeah.
I know we talking about women, but she had to know some things about her husband
Come
in
on
order
now.
to be a kept wife. Okay, so and then we gonna have her husband on here, sooner than later, because we
Yeah.
need to know the other side, what the men be looking for. But we also need to know it from a male's
Yes.
perspective. So
Yeah.
y'all know how we do. The aunties get on here and we get to talking, but we also love the male perspective. We love to understand what y'all see, what y'all think, all of those kind of things. So
You
don't be
know,
shy in those comments.
that's another benefit of becoming one of my kepties in my community. My husband is there, so he teaches lessons. Sometimes he runs prayer for the ladies every Sunday. When they need a male perspective, they get it, and they get it from a healthy
Yes.
man who cares, who doesn't want anything from them, so he's not going to steer them wrong. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Yes.
added
I
layer
love
of
that.
yeah.
I love that because we really need it. We really need the male perspective sometimes. But like you said, we need a healthy, we need the healthy perspective of things
That's
and
right.
not just any man.
Mhm.
So those are the times where we talk about seeking wise counsel.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. But also
Mhm.
men, those are the kind of men that you want to be able to have in your circle that will
Right.
bring wise counsel, that will bring that the truth,
Mhm.
not just their perspective or their understanding, but the truth. Cause but ladies, we also need it too. That's why we got her here.
Yeah.
Okay. The conversations that we have here are exactly for that reason, for us to deep dive, to understand better, so that we can navigate and be better in how we move, how we show up in these spaces. Because so many of us do want to be married, although
Mhm.
a lot of people don't say it anymore. Because the minute you say, I want to be married, for what?
Mhm.
And there's all this negative, there's always this negative backlash or negative rhetoric when it comes to saying, I want to be married and I want this kind of life and I want that kind of life. Girl, like you said, the people that were telling you, girl, ain't no man gonna do.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, look at me over here, never in like never, nevered. Like,
Right. Watch your mouth about me. Okay.
don't worry about me. I'm
Watch your
cool.
mouth. Watch your mouth. So yes, absolutely. So if y'all got any questions, drop them in the comments.
You
And
know,
I love that you said that about your husband, though. I love that.
you
Love
know,
it.
he's amazing. Like, when we
Hey.
first started dating, and I'm like, well, I get all of this. Like, you take care of me, you do all these things. Like, what do you get? And he's like, I get you. I get to watch you do all this. I get to, you know what I mean? I get to be a part of seeing you help other women have this. I'm like,
Hmm.
so beautiful. Love it.
Listen, it is. That is absolutely beautiful. And um, one of the things that you have is the, hold on, I'm scrolling to my notes, the self framework.
Mm-hmm.
So can you break that
Yeah.
down a little bit for us so that they can get an understanding of that? And we
Yes.
can too.
So, I mean, I told y'all, I was a rapper in my previous life, like for real. I'm not joking. Like I really was. So, I'm really big on like acronyms, alliteration, like using words in a really
Hmm.
powerful way. So, God kind of dropped it in my spirit like you need to make sure that women know they need to focus on their self, right? So give them a framework about that. So
Mm.
self is broken down in self-love radically, empowerment through accountability,
Mm.
the laws of God slash the universe, because believe it or not, they're the same. And
Hmm.
F, femininity strategically though. So that's literally what I walk women through at first. Like we start with before you can do anything with a man, you have to radically love yourself. We have to get through what makes you shrink, what you're afraid of, what is causing you not to like fully walk in your power and be confident. Let's get that out the way so that you can exude confidence and you will attract better that way. Then, empowerment. You shouldn't feel like a victim, right? Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And when you
Hmm.
can start to be accountable for what you've allowed, what you chose, what you're around, without feeling like, well, it's their fault, and focusing on what you don't control. Like everything that I teach really is around self governance. It's about the woman looking within, taking back all of her power and standing in that so much so that she just
Hmm.
becomes this amazing partner that is magnetic to quality men.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So good. It's so good. It's so juicy and
Yeah,
it's
she
so
said it's so
robust.
juicy.
It is. It is because a lot of what we hear or what we see online is not about self. We
Hmm.
don't talk about the self governing. We don't take a lot of times there's not a lot of self accountability in how we've shown up in places or
Hmm.
spaces or what we've chosen and things like that. And I think a lot of us don't have those conversations with ourselves because then we have to recognize that we were a
You
good chunk
you
of the
played a
problem.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were part of the problem. And so
You know,
I,
and let's not even gloss over the fact that it's a real thing that us as black women, we probably get to the point like, all right, we do enough work. Why is it us? Why do we have to fix something again? Why do we have to focus on that? That's a real thing, and I understand that. I teach women to look at it like, don't think about it like you're the one doing the work.
yeah.
Think about it like you are empowering yourself. You are looking at your life and architecting it the way you want to. You're
Hmm.
not leaving it up to someone else. And when
Yes.
you flip it like that, right? Like you can look at it a little bit different. It doesn't feel like, oh, one more thing to do. It's like, oh, I get to do this. I get to create
I
my life.
get to do it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a different conversation then. I
Mm-hmm.
get to versus I have to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, I like that.
I have to sound like somebody telling me to
Yeah,
do
we
something that
do.
I really don't want to do.
Right.
But
Yeah. It's
I
not like
get
another
to,
job. Like who want another
yes,
job?
yes, I
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
build my life. I get
Mm-hmm.
to set myself up for success. I
That's
get
right.
to put
I
myself in
get to
alignment.
attract the man that I
Yeah,
desire.
that's what I was just saying.
You know?
Yeah. I get to put myself in alignment with the kind of men that I actually want to attract
That's
and no
right.
longer falling victim to the things that I used to attract before.
Or just
Or not even just
accepting what comes
accepting.
along.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Girl, we
Yeah,
on the same page. I love
yeah.
it. But absolutely, absolutely. And I think hearing a lot of what you said makes one a world of difference, okay? Because sometimes we think the things, but if we're honest, a lot of us aren't having that many conversations about these kind of things.
That's
So
right.
you don't really, you aren't often in the space to say, this is what I'm working on. This is what I
Mhm.
want for myself. This is what I want for my life. And how do I get there?
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the biggest things that we tackle a lot of times when it comes to these kind of conversations is that we end up battling the negative more than we
I
discuss
was
the positive.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we end up battling, and the conversation becomes an argument then because, well, what makes you think somebody or what, it becomes a whole back and forth about what I desire. You don't have to desire it. I was just saying this is a conversation.
Yeah.
So it becomes that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I get
yeah,
that all the time. Like women will say things to me like, "Oh, if I was kept, I wouldn't be online. I wouldn't be doing it." And I'm like, "That's why you ain't." Like it's this my life. Like
Right.
I have the choice, right? It's my choice. When you're kept, you can do it your way. How about
Right.
that?
yeah,
But I think a lot of people get it twisted. They think of being kept as like being a Stafford wife.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's the old way of viewing it. Now it's like women are, they're making more of a conscious decision. They're being more active in the
hmm,
decision of how they're going to be kept. And
yeah,
so it's a little bit easier. And you shouldn't judge a person because of the way they want to be kept. If they
that's
want to
so
be
true.
online,
That's so good.
if they want to be online, they can be online. If they want to do this, they can do that. It's their life. And so people need to understand just because a person wants to be kept doesn't mean, oh my God, let me get dressed up like this old fashioned
Uh-huh.
lady,
That's
or
right.
I have to get
That's one of the major things that I'm addressing. Like, well, 2 points. One is I make sure to say, like, I'm first kept by God
right.
and then I'm kept by my husband. That gives you a
Yeah.
totally different thing, right? Like,
Right.
I am kept by God. So my relationship with God is what governs my captivity first. My
Yes.
husband just happened to align with that. And he is the human fulfillment of my captivity.
Yeah.
And how I do it is what makes me happy. And I teach women to find out what
Like,
makes you happy. For some women,
absolutely.
they don't want kids. So they're
yeah,
they're not thinking about staying home to be with kids. For some women, they don't want to do anything. They've worked enough and they just want to enjoy not working at all. And that's great. For some women, they've built up this career and they have a lot of pride in it and they want to continue that, or they have a business and they want to continue building that, but they love the idea of just because I have this, that does not negate that I should still have a man who comes along and says, you're my woman, my responsibility. Let me
Right.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just because I want to be kept doesn't mean I want to lose myself either.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
I wanna be able to still be in my own space, in my own way, but be
Right.
kept as well.
That's right.
Mhm. I don't want to lose myself just to be with you. Basically, that's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
Yeah.
love that
some
women
women
are
like,
taking more accountability for that.
yeah. I mean,
Like
well, when you
for
think about like
themselves anyway.
when we hear of divorce too, like what's one of the major lines we hear all the time? Women will say, I lost myself in the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Because they lost themselves in being a wife. And it pains me because I'm like, you weren't even kept. Like you were doing
Mm.
everything. No wonder you lost yourself. You know why I don't lose myself? Because I don't have a husband profiting off of my labor. I don't
Mm.
have, you know what I mean? I don't have
Right.
a husband who wants to see me tired or right, like
Right.
he, when I'm trying to do too much, he's like, sit down. When's the last time you've been to the spa? Go relax,
Mhm.
take a nap. No, you don't have
Mm.
to cook tonight, I will order. No, don't worry about the house, I got it tonight. Right, like full partnership. I'm not his maid, I'm not a chef, I'm not a none of those things. I'm his wife, I'm here for his enjoyment.
Okay, because the way I would love for somebody to come in and tell me to sit down on a regular basis,
Right. Listen.
please tell me to sit
Expeditiously.
down. Okay, you said sit down. Where?
I'll be
Over
like,
here? On that
yes.
side? What side of the couch? Do
Okay,
you
Yes.
want me to
survey
go
it
sit
up.
down somewhere outside of the house? Because
Mhm.
just tell me and I'm going to do it. Because there is the misconception that women don't want any of that. There's the misconception that we don't want to be told anything. Yes, I do.
I
Don't let
do.
these women lie to you, because the minute somebody come in here and do it right, you said sit
We
down.
don't want to be told what to do while we're helping you do your part. That's what it is. It's like, I made a comment before where, someone asked me like who has it worse? Like when you're going through the divorce, like who has it worse, the husband or the wife. And I'm like, listen, there's many different cases, but I will say like this. The majority of the time I'm going with the woman because she's more tired. You know why? Not only was she responsible for like being the woman and the energy and beautiful and having sex and taking care of the kids and all the things, she's working too. So, not to say men don't help at all, but in the majority of these situations, it's like he's just working and
Right.
sometimes helping. She's working and still being the main person
Hmm.
to set up
Run the
appointments,
house.
to
Right.
figure out what we're eating, where are we vacationing, all of the mental labor and load that she's carrying that you can't see. Right. So I'm
Yep.
like, well, women are more tired. So I'm gonna go with them because they're doing their job and they're helping you do yours.
Mhm.
I I love marriage and that's why I can speak about it so positively because I don't have that experience. Women who are
Hmm.
saying, don't get married, hate it. Yeah, because they're tired. They're it's not enjoyable for them. For me, this made my life better. What are you talking about? I'm richer, I'm skinnier, my skin is better, I'm nicer, I'm rested, like
Now, can we back up? Because I'm nicer is
I'm
a real thing. I'm nicer when I am cared for, when I am loved correctly. I can
Mhm.
show up differently. I can
yeah,
show up in all the ways, but when I am handling life and
yeah.
all that it comes with, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit
Mhm.
surly, as the old
Yeah.
people used
Like
to say.
a woman is different when she's unburdened.
Yep.
Right? She's
True.
completely different when she's unburdened. Usually, when you're encountering a woman and she's short and she is, more aggressive in different things. I'm not saying that there aren't women that just are like that, because they are. But
Right.
there's a lot of times when a woman is overtired, she's
Yeah.
overworked, right? And she's just at her wit's end and she's just holding on. And that's how you're encountering her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
My husband all the time, he's like, how do I make this easier? He don't like to see me even like in a tizzy about nothing with the kids or
Come
anything. He's
on.
like, nope. My wife is to be rested. My wife is to just be beautiful and happy. Like,
Come
that's
on.
it. When she's happy, beautiful, taken care of, we're all getting the best of her.
Happy wife, happy
Correct.
life.
Yeah.
Children, you
Right.
know.
I'm a better parent. What are you talking about? I didn't have no patience before. I'm like, what are you doing? Why y'all talking? Y'all seen my son interrupting. What are you talking about? A couple years ago, I'd have been listen, listen. I had to turn my camera off to deal with him.
Listen, we understand real life happens even while we on here, so we don't trip on none of that.
Right.
And I think that's the other part too is that, like you said, you're a different parent.
Mm-hmm.
People don't recognize that partnership
Yep.
does the correct partnership. Let me put it that way. The correct partnership does allow for ease.
It
The
does.
correct partnership allows for everything that you do to blossom and flourish in a totally different way than it
Mhm.
did before. And I tell people all the time, if y'all see what I can do by myself,
Imagine
do
what I
y'all
can
see what I have done by myself?
Imagine. Yeah. And I,
Imagine what I could do if I had a partner that was supporting this.
do.
yeah.
Right.
And
Imagine what I could do, or how much brighter I could probably appear to the world, and how much more whimsy I would
yeah,
have.
listen, I want you to be introduced to that version of yourself, right? The version of yourself that isn't always figuring things out,
Mm-hmm.
that isn't thinking about what comes next, that isn't always burdened, right? Like, I'm not saying, I don't have difficulties and we don't have to figure things out. I mean, life is happening, that it is what it is. However, when you marry well and you're in a good partnership, you have someone that
Hey, long line, mommy.
sorry.
It's really hard.
I know, but I'll be in there to play with you when I'm done, okay?
Okay, the time is ticking.
Okay, the time.
Baby boy said, "Come on, because it's late night on a Friday. This is my time, woman." and that, and
See,
that's the thing because
spoiled.
he's used to.
You know what
Yep,
I mean? Like, he's like, well, okay, mom, you do your clients when we're at school.
yep.
You know what I mean? He's like, we're supposed to be playing.
Yeah, but per example of the love that's exuded even in that moment,
Yep. The
the,
attention.
the patience, your
It's
ability,
yes.
his ability, you can tell, like,
Mhm. It's
I'm on my
different.
mommy.
It's different, and for my ladies who may be watching like live or might watch the rebroadcast, like, it's so important too, because I came into this marriage with children and I did things completely different to what is the norm, I would say. Like, my husband didn't meet the kids until we decided we were getting married.
Hmm.
I did not play that. Like, they don't need to be a part of dating. They don't need to see mommy that way. To them, mommy loves somebody and they get married. Like, that's what they know. Right? That's all they know. They don't know any in between. They don't know dating. When they met him, we introduced him as a friend and we let it build naturally. But I encourage women, like, we do a lot of things for our kids anyway. In most cases, you stay with their father even when you don't want to because you think that's the right thing to do. You do all sorts of things in the name of them. But what I learned was when I am better taken care of, I'm a better mother. So I need to prioritize my own health, my
Yeah.
own care. Now, I'm not saying it's not important, for there to be synchronicity and for things to gel together and the kids to like them and all of that. That is important. I'm saying we need to stop leading with that though. Lead
Yeah.
with, are you two
Too
compatible?
compatible.
Can you all merge? Can you all parent together? Can you all figure out how you're going to roll this thing out and, blend as a family? Focus on that, because guess what? The kids grow up,
They
they
do.
leave. And too many people, that's why you see people getting divorced when their kids
After
leave.
they empty nest. Yep.
They've
When they become
done
empty
nothing to
nesters.
build their marriage. They
Yep.
just they had a marriage for a year or two, had some kids, and
It
everything
became
became about
separate.
the kids. That it's not healthy for the marriage, but then it also doesn't show the children the right order. You
Hmm.
know, the kids had to learn, okay, mommy and dad, and they called him dad on their own as well. That's another thing. It was not enforced. Like, we let it happen naturally, but we did it in a certain order. Like, we come first, then who we are to you, and then we're a family. So
Hmm.
I just want to encourage women who already have children. You can still marry. There are plenty of good men that will come along and they will be the father figure for your children. So if you have that fear, let me get rid of that for you. It's absolutely fine. You will find somebody. However, you might need some guidance around allowing a man to come in, because a quality man not only comes with, resources, money, and those things, he's also going to come with structure.
Structure. Yep.
He's going to come with discipline in a way that women
Yes.
don't have, right?
And
It
are
is
not used to.
balance. They're
Yep.
not used to it at all, right? We're used to being, if it's just you, you're the mom and the dad. That's what you tell yourself, right? You're the authority. Everything
Oh,
stops with you, and that has to
that
change.
statement makes my eyes twitch.
Mm.
You know, that has to change.
That
Um,
statement within itself makes my eye twitch.
It
I know.
did. It did hit me.
But I do like the understanding of you don't need to be my kids. That's a rule of mine if I date a man with children. I don't want to meet your children until
Nope.
I know for a fact
That.
that this is going to be something. One,
Yeah.
because I love children.
No.
Like that's my whole background. I was a preschool teacher. I went to school for early childhood education and all of that. I am a lover of the children, and the children are a lover of Miss Leo. Okay, the babies love me. So I don't even need to meet your kids. We can talk about them or whatever, but I don't need to
Yeah.
meet them. I don't need
Mm,
to see them. They don't need to see me in any capacity until I know for a
that
fact
is
what this
the
is going to
thing.
be
Yes.
because I don't want them to attach to me and I don't want to attach to them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want it to become a whole family scenario or situation. And then
Mhm.
down the line, it becomes hard for
Yeah.
them
Mhm.
because now you brought somebody else into their lives and all of those kind of things. And I absolutely stick to that regardless because that's my rule. I just I don't want to do it. I don't
Yeah.
want to meet your babies prior to. I'm not saying you can't show me pictures or you can't talk to me about them or that's your life because that's your life.
Mhm.
But I do not want to actively
Yeah.
meet them or we not doing family dinners. We not doing all of that
Family
prior
It's
to knowing what this is actually going to be.
it's right along the same lines of how we were having the discussion about nowadays it's like, people have sex on the first date. It's like expected. And if you're not doing that, like that's foreign. What's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing? People are just introducing their kids casually. Like it's okay for them to know you had 8 boyfriends. Like
No.
people are,
No.
they're normalizing behavior that is absolutely detrimental, right? The kids already have to deal with the fact that their, mom and their dad are not together.
Other.
Like we have to understand that that's a thing. They're
Yeah.
dealing with that. So to me, I'm just like, don't add on to that. You're already going to have to kind of supplement and explain and kind of make sure that they're not too wounded in that area. Don't add more onto it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Ugh,
No,
this is
I
so good.
love that
Such good conversation.
because being married, well, going through a divorce,
Mhm.
like I don't want to put that on him and say he's 11 now and say that's trauma for him, but it was very difficult for him.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
had not known anything except me and his father his whole life.
Yeah.
And it was just difficult. It took him a minute to process that, like, he didn't understand why we were living in separate homes,
Yeah.
why he had to go between,
Yeah.
those homes. He just didn't get it at first. It wasn't he just did not process it at the very beginning of it. Like, it was confusing for him.
Yeah. And I mean, you're having to, support him at a time when you're going through your own kind of grief and separation
Yes.
and anxiety and anger and all of these things, but you're having to hold it together for him. So it's like being mindful of those things. More women need to think about that. Like, your kids are going through something as well, and they're not adults. So they
Right.
can't process the things like we do. They don't have that maturity and that understanding of it.
Hmm.
So we need to be mindful of what we expose them to.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Miss Deanna, you
Yes.
have an amazing class coming up. It's called Spring Clean and Release Series.
Yes.
So, I'm excited,
What's
because when we talked about it, I was like, okay, tell me more. Okay. And
Yeah.
it's such an exciting thing to hear about, but I also am excited to learn more about. So tell
Yes.
the ladies what the spring clean and release series is, what it's about, and how
Yes.
people can get involved.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of background, for the past 4 years, I did an annual release ceremony at the end of the year before the new year. So, you know how we have, New Year's resolutions and set our intentions and all the things, right? That has become popularized. Like, have our manifestation boards, all the things. They're beautiful. I do those too. What I found was missing was, well, we're talking about all of this new, but we are not addressing what is old that needs to go. Where's the space for the
Mm.
new? We're just talking all this new, but you're going to be trying to cram it into this container that's already stuffed.
Right.
So I started having a release ceremony. First, it was just in my private community, and it got so popular that I just started opening it up publicly. And what I do is it's not a master class. It's not the typical workshop where you come with your, notebook and you're like a student. It's like almost like my little captivity gift to you, because you get to come and just relax. And I walk you through giving you language to the things that you may be holding on to that are burdening you, that are making things heavy for you, that is making it difficult for you to receive the things that you actually want in life and in love.
Mm.
I talk about all of those things because I experience helping women get rid of them all year long. So I release all of that. I walk you through an activity, but it's really like me working and you kind of just experiencing. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna laugh, cry, be upset, experience all the emotions in this 1 hour. It's a really beautiful experience, and it was so popular that women started saying, Deanna, like we don't want to wait to the end of the year for this. Like, can you start doing it more? And I realized, like with my clients, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Whenever they're quantum leaping to another level, whenever they're like going through a breakup, whenever they have something happen, I'm doing this with them often. So I just prayed about it, and God was like, okay, we're going to start with 3. I'll do one in spring. I'm doing one in summer, like, and then one at the end of the year. So the spring cleaning one, it's in the springtime, we all start talking about that. We putting away our, the winter clothes. We bringing
Yeah.
out the spring clothes. The weather is changing. We want the energy in our house to change. So that's the theme of it, right? It's the spring cleaning release. So, for your viewers, listeners, I have a special discount code
Come on with the
for.
code.
Yep, the code is POD
Okay.
20. So when they go to my website, just destinationdeanna.com, and it's not letting me comment. I guess it's because, I'm one of the guests.
That's
So
okay.
I
I
don't
can put
know
it
if
on here.
I think maybe I can send it to you privately. That's
Okay.
the link for them to go right to the release. And then this is the code, and it gives them 20% off. And literally, you can just do one release, or you can do the bundle where it's all 3, but it's basically like you get one for free. And the 20% off applies to whatever you choose.
Okay.
And that
Okay.
20% is good until Monday night. So the 13th at 11:59. You
Perfect.
can't message me about it. It's built in. I have nothing to do with it. You got to take advantage. You got to take advantage. But I promise you, it is like nothing else that you have experienced. Because it's not the typical you have to come learn and there's a test and it's literally like you get to come and be unburdened. You get to come and
That's
lay some
beautiful.
things down. You get to come cry if you need to. Some people just cry. Some people, they really confront some things that they've been burying. And it's a safe space. If you don't want to put your camera on, you don't got to. Change your name, do what you got to do. Whatever makes you
Yes.
feel comfortable. I do the work for everyone though.
That's so beautiful. And I'm getting ready to put it in the chat for you all so y'all can't say we don't never do nothing for you. No, I'm just playing.
Hello.
I love y'all.
Hello.
The chat is the link and the
The code.
code are now in the link in the chat. My goodness. The link and the code are now in the chat for you all if you are interested in joining. The release series is on her website, which is absolutely beautiful. So make sure y'all go check it out anyway.
Thank you.
And you can sign up for her newsletter. I signed up for it. She drops some amazing stuff. Y'all
Thank
know
you.
I always do my due diligence before we have people over here. So I checked out the newsletter. I think I got one yesterday.
Yeah, it's the newsletter. I don't bombard you all either. So that's the good thing. The newsletter comes out
She does
usually the
not.
week of the month. And it's kind of like I tell you what's going on in that month. So if there's an event, I tell you when I'm going live. So it's like you can plan ahead. Again, I'm easy and relaxed. I mean, you know what I mean? I be trying to make it easy. We got enough things to stress about.
Yes.
I don't
Yes,
want you
ma'am.
stressing, make it
Yep.
easy.
Oh, it was this morning. I got it this morning.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
says your car is not the only thing that needs a spring cleaning. Okay, so remember that. So we're gonna do a few rapid fire questions, and then we gonna let you get on out of here so baby boy can get his playtime with his mommy because I don't want him mad at me. Okay, I don't want the smoke because I feel like it would be all smoke real quick over that way. So a few rapid fire questions.
Hmm.
One thing women need to stop doing immediately in relationships.
Focusing on what men are doing.
Mm,
That's true.
That
Yeah.
rolls right off.
that.
No
I
hesitation.
mean, she said, ooh.
Right. Focus on yourself,
my
boo.
nose, my nose, Deanna. Hold on. One mindset shift that will change how they experience love.
Mm.
You can have whatever man you want as long as you're willing to become the woman that warrants it.
Mm.
Being kept is not what?
Bondage. Being kept is not limitation. Being kept is not loss of voice. Being kept is not uh prisoner regarding finances. Being kept is full partnership. It's full transparency. It is ease. It is relaxation. It is being completely covered.
Mm,
Mm.
okay.
I'm gonna put some of
Softness.
them on a sticky note.
Okay.
Stick them right
I'm over here
on my stick 'em right
on
on the
your
mirror so I
mirror.
can read them.
Okay. Because my God. Um, softness without boundaries is what?
Silly.
For
Fuck.
real. No, for real. That's the best answer. No, for real. Um, what's one truth about love that people don't want to hear?
Love is a choice. Love is a
Yeah.
choice. It's a choice you have to make every day. And that's why
Every
you need
day.
well.
That's it. And
Yeah.
then, last but not least, what does a high value partnership actually feel like?
Um, you know what? I the way I identify women as kepties, like my kept besties, we identify the men as keepers. And we spell it KEEPHERS, like keep
Come on,
hers.
keep hers. I know that's right.
Yes. So the way I look at like, high value partnership is really the partnership is powerful. Like both individuals on their own are happy, they are confident, they come into the partnership with their own benefits, their own ideals, their own value individually. And then together, everything is made more powerful. Everything is expanded. Everything is more wealthy, more transformed, more loving, more easy. Like that's how I look at like high value partnership. It's more powerful.
Mm, that's so good. That is so good. Now, listen, y'all go check out Deanna. She is absolutely amazing.
You so much.
Everything that I've come across, even our connection and conversation
Yeah.
online transformed into our initial conversation. It's been the same energy across the board. She is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing in all that she does. So make sure if you're trying to be a kepty, okay,
Yeah.
a kept bestie, that you check out her spring clean and release series, but also check out all of her other things on her website, which is destinationziana.com. Go check it out. go click on stuff. Go look at what she got over there. Cause
Stuff.
that's what I did. I saw
Yes,
her website, I went to go click on stuff. Let's
yes.
go
Take
click on stuff and sign up for her email list as well for her newsletter. And also join the girls. Join the girls. Okay. Join the Kepti Academy over there on school because I think we all deserve, not that we just need it,
come
but we
on.
all deserve to be kept.
Yeah.
Okay. We deserve it. You know, we deserve a little ease and all of that. That's why I cut my hair off because I wanted ease.
Come
So if I
on.
can let go of my hair, okay, y'all know the rest. So make
Rest.
sure y'all check out the Kepti Academy on school, which is also on the website, so you can tap in over there. And then
Mhm.
check out her books. Check out her book, Break Up Now, on Audible, Amazon, and Lulu. And she has a companion journal for those of you all who like to get to journaling. Okay? So
Yes.
many amazing things. Check her out and tell the people how they can connect with you on socials, honey bunny.
Yes, so I try to keep it easy and branded. So everywhere is Destination Diana. So on Instagram,
Okay.
Destination Diana, on Facebook, Destination Diana. Those are the main two socials that I use. I'm starting to kind of build up LinkedIn, but really Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Now, disclaimer, on Threads, I'm like a little unhinged, like a little Threads. I be cutting.
Threads is the
I've
exception for
been hearing about this
everybody.
thread.
I, I be cutting up a little. I mean, I'm gonna still keep it classy, but
Baby, Threads is the exception for everybody, okay? I don't care who you are. If you on Threads, it's just an unhinged good time with the family, okay? That's what
it is.
Threads is. So I think, and also on Threads, you get a little bit of everything. You could be professional in one of your threads and then be totally unhinged in the rest of them. So
That's
it's a
what I.
nice little mixture over there on Threads.
Yes.
So if you find yourself over there in the chaos, enjoy. Okay?
So,
Yeah.
Because I've been having a time. I don't even be on Facebook like that no more. And I used to be a Facebook girly down to the socks. But baby,
Listen,
Threads has me in such a chokehold.
I and really where it really becomes unhinged is my comments. Like I say some things on my own threads, but I seem to really get roped into a lot a lot of things that
Hey,
people
hey,
comment. But I make
hey.
connections.
Listen, okay, that's the other part. Because the connections be connecting on threads. I'll tell you that much. Okay. The connections, the collaborations, the access is different on threads than any other social media platform. So if you find yourself over there, check out Destination Diana, your girl, I am Leo Rochelle over there as well. And you can also find all of the PGC pages over there, which we building up because again, we new on threads. Threads
Yeah.
is our new destination. We was on Facebook and TikTok and everywhere else before Threads, and so we building it up over there. But also,
Yeah.
if you tapped in, hit that subscribe button. We are about 20. No, I'm lying. We're about 30, maybe 35 subscribers away from our 1K. So go ahead and help us reach that goal by the end of the month.
Let's
We can
make
do
that.
that real fast. Okay. We had about 40 subscribers in the last 30 days. Let's go ahead and hit that next 40 in the next 30 days so we can hit that 1K mark. Okay. It's a big mark to make, and we are on our way. But we want to thank Deanna for tapping in with us this evening. We
Come
hope
on
baby boy has a good time, and we hope we didn't take up too much of his playtime. Tell him the aunties said we sorry.
now.
Okay. We don't
Excited.
want no trouble.
Yeah, he said
We don't want no trouble, baby.
he said yeah,
Okay, we sorry.
it's taking forever, but
We is sorry. So we gonna let Deanna go, and you guys can stick around for our last few segments, and then we getting up out of here. All right.
Hey, thank you
Thank you
so much.
again, Deanna. Have a good night, sweetheart.
Enjoy your night.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I got some work to do tonight. I feel like I need to go journal.
No,
I need to go do
seriously,
some
Leo, I
writing.
need to get some stuff out, clearly.
Okay. I feel like there is a lot to be said. Okay. There is a lot to be said about what we are and what we doing. Okay. So, your girl, of course, whew, we got our segment for the evening. Our host shit, the evolution. Okay. Make sure that y'all always put the evolution on there because we just not talking about whole shit. We talking about the evolution of the whole shit that used to take place. Okay? Okay. Okay. So since we did all this talking about the reflection and dating and being a kept woman, okay? I always used to say that I was a kept woman at one point, and I flipped my hair back, and I absolutely enjoyed being that woman. One thing that I recognized over the years when it came down to it was that I did become a little harder. I did become a woman who started to accept less than what I deserved and less than what I was getting in my previous relationship. And I recognized how that started to show up in other spaces in my life. When it came down to my finances, when it came down to even just the caliber of men that I would attract. And because I was in a certain space, I was okay with people not being the people that stuck around or that were here for a long time. And I, at one point, was here for a good time, not a long time. And I was okay with that too. Because, as you are transitioning, sometimes you recognize the spaces that you are in don't necessarily mean that that's the space that you want to stay in, which is
Stay
why this segment is called Whole Shit, the Evolution. Um, and even as you evolve and grow and learn and understand different things about yourself, if you decide that you want to be a kept hoe, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I mean, it is a not a hoe. Y'all know what I'm saying. But if you are a woman who wants to be kept, but also you still want to explore, that is a thing. That's why they have open relationships and all of those kind of things. So the level of kept that you desire is up to you. There is no cookie cutter way of being kept. There is no cookie cutter way of being in a relationship at all. But one thing that I do feel a lot of us need to do is make sure that we pay attention to how we show up in those spaces because people will play in your face and act like you are the crazy one for deciding that you want to set boundaries, that you no
Absolutely.
longer want to deal with BS, and that you no longer want to be in the space of people who don't see you, value you, or understand you, but also take the accountability for knowing that you were requiring less for the access to you. We have to understand our greatness. A lot of us that are out here are amazing people, but also a lot of amazing people accept a lot of bottom of the barrel shit just because we are in a space where we don't feel like we deserve anything better than what we've been getting.
Absolutely.
You are worthy, you are deserving, and just because it's not one person's cup of tea doesn't mean that somebody don't like your chai or your Earl Grey or your tangerine white peach tea. Whatever flavor tea you are, there is somebody out there who is dying for a sip and willing to pay the price in order to taste it. So be sure that you are
Very.
not putting yourself on clearance, that you are not putting yourself on the market. And if you have been, tighten up, ho. Okay?
Look,
Ain't nothing wrong with tightening up. Ain't nothing wrong with realizing that you've been the one discounting yourself. You've
Mm.
been the one putting yourself in the space of people who do not value you because you were not valuing yourself the way that you needed to. It's okay to wake up. It's okay to change up. It's okay to want more, want different, and want something that may not look like what you're surrounded by, like Deanna said. But that does not mean it is not something that you can aspire to, because you absolutely can. So tighten up, change up, do what's necessary, do what you got to do to get outside and be the woman that you desire to be. If you want to be a kept woman, do the things that you need to do in order to be a kept woman. But it comes with responsibility, it comes with action, it comes with understanding. Because if you don't know and you can't stand 10 toes down on what you feel like you deserve, why do you think anybody else would? Okay?
So,
Get it together with grace and whole ass intentions.
mm,
It's me, your girl Leo Rochelle, and this was Whole Shit the segment. Thank y'all for listening. Okay? Oh,
okay.
a lot of amazing stuff said.
baby, listen, it's been a journey, and I fully understand the difference. Like I said, in my previous relationship, it was not a lot of uh it was a lot of different standards. And that's why I say in my 20s, I think I had one of the best relationships that I have had thus far in life. Um, that ain't the end of it. That's why I always say thus far. But um, it was an amazing experience. I can definitely say that. And I have not had one yet that has topped it. So I know it's on the way though, because Sky Daddy got something for me. He don't play about me. Okay? So, y'all, Auntie Virginia, you got a soul fuel tonight?
No.
Okay, cool. That's cool. It's cool. So we finna get ready to get up out of here. We thank y'all for tuning in. We thank y'all for tapping in. We thank y'all for subscribing to our YouTube channel and all of the amazing things. Stay tuned because PGC is continuously working to arrive and bring more flavor, fun, excitement, and dope guests who add value to your lives to our platform. If you missed Tuesday's show, make sure you check it out. We had our special guest, none other than Gio, the Podfather, on the show, and he will be our special guest all month long. And then the aunties, we coming back next week. We got more flame and fire and sexiness for y'all next week too. So make sure y'all tap in. We do have a new time, just so you know. Our new time is 8:30 p.m. Y'all seem to like that time, so we gonna stick with it and rock with it. We'll be here next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 Central. But in the meantime, in between time, you can catch all of our old episodes on YouTube, and we do have some other things coming soon. So yeah, make sure y'all check out our link tree. And if you want to support the squad, you want to support the family and what PGC got going on, you can go to our link tree and buy us a coffee. Okay.
Yes, I
But
love a good
we got,
coffee.
yes, we got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. But again, we thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all tap in with our guests from tonight at destinationdiana.com. And we up out of here, y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And whatever you do this evening, keep it sexy, keep it classy, and keep it a whole lot of luscious. All right? We
Period.
up out of this thing. We love y'all. And Good night.
Have a good night.
Trust, dependency, love, respect, passion, pain, intimacy, pleasure. I sit here stuck inside my head, remembering you and I analyze all those things you said. You told me you loved me, you kissed and you hugged me, then you smiled, you look in my eyes and tell me that you'll always be right there.
Mm-hmm.